Hey everybody, we're live on Fourever Rivals. How are we, everyone?
Good
G'day,
evening,
Rocco.
all. Quinn, Mark. Good evening, everyone.
How we all going,
All
boys?
right, out there, Blue Bagger. Will Manny show up tonight? Yes, he will. He's right there. What's this one say? Galicchio, he comes on. What's he saying? Get ready for another bumper show, people. And
Ooh.
mannerisms. Oh, look, we're getting. Sorry, Manny. Sorry, Manny. Welcome to the roast of the Magpie, Manny.
Well,
Here we go.
let
What's
me
this
just.
one say? How you doing, Manny? Look at Lana, mate. She's beautiful. How you doing,
Hey,
Manny?
listen.
Hey, Lana.
All I want to say is that I've got that very tough, never say die magpie attitude, and that's the way it goes. You've got to roll with the punches. You've got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, that's right,
That's it.
Manny. Hey, and quickly,
Manny,
guys, before we
and no regrets funeral.
move on, quickly, if you're watching Michelle, my apologies for last week. You asked me a question if I am a Guns N' Roses fan. Obviously, I am. As you can see behind me here, I have the new Guns N' Roses pinball machine. So my apologies. Yes, I am a Guns N' Roses fan, a Motley Crue fan, Metallica fan, and Foo Fighters fan. So heavy metal, mate.
Are you a Kiss fan?
I was probably a bit too young for the Kiss fan, but I'd go and see him live in concert for the.
Then we might have something to say about that when we're coming
But
up.
yeah,
So
my
let's have a
apologies,
bit.
Michelle. Thank you very much. Appreciate a bit of feedback for the
Michelle,
Bombers.
thanks for the comment. Yeah, and I can say that Mark is a rock and roll fan, man. He loves the heavy metal. So yeah, all good, all good. Listen, we just got some more messages here. Stuff you, Collingwood. Here we go. No regrets. Yep, I haven't seen him for 2 nights, man. The bloke has shown his true form. When things get hard, he hides underneath fucking rock. And I'm not talking me either. Here we go. Let's get everyone into. Make sure you share, like, become a member of the. Are you a member, Mark? Because I just checked and you're still not.
Oh, look, I mean, after last week's reviews, we got close to, I think, 600 reviews. So I'm pretty impressed. So I'm looking at the 1K before I subscribe. All right, so let's jump on board
Yeah, mate,
before my contract runs out, boys.
Hey,
make sure
listen.
everyone gets down to Schnitz in Northlands. Go and see Goat Can and make sure you get those snuggets. If you like lips and assholes, you go to the other fast food outlets. But if you like real chicken breast, you gotta go and get your snuggets. And if you become a member, you get that 25% off. Is that an ad or what? Right.
It's a great deal. It's a great deal. Absolutely fabulous. And Mark, there's no excuse, mate. You know, you just. I thought it was really hard to subscribe, but I tell you what, mate, it's a simple. Press the button, you subscribe, and if you want to become even a member of the Jumper Punch, etc., yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, Manny, mate. Time will tell.
We got one here. Back when music was good, exactly right.
Yes.
Mate.
Good on ya.
We got a message from Manny here from Manny Costco. Nanny, he called you, and yeah, that's better for you because you are a bit of a fucking nanny. Grow some fucking balls and don't leg Rocco attack you. Like Manny, at least fucking spell properly, mate. What are you doing, mate? Typical Collingwood supporters. All right, listen, let's get into this, but there's plenty of stuff. Don't worry, mate. I'll be getting stuff. Oh, wait a sec. We have got a message here. We did get a video message this week, so I just want to put this up before we start. And here it is. Here it is.
Is the epitome of a Collingwood.
Go to Pies! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
There you go. I think that was one of your bloody rellos there, mate. I'm a Pie supporter. I'm fucking Maui.
He's funny enough. He's from Maui, but he was seeing down your neck of the woods there, Rocco. So
He was sitting down in the neck of the woods because he was at the Reservoir Police Station because his sister put a restraining order on him because wouldn't let him see his own kid. So anyway, let's move on quickly. Please, man, you don't even try to defend that. Don't defend that, mate. Look, they're loving it, mate. We're up there. All right, listen, we have got a big we have got man, his cousin from Maui. Yes, he is, mate. Unfortunately, the problem is they're all related. That's what the problem is, you know. So you're gonna end up with that kind of shit. All right, let's get into this one. Fourever footy. All right, this is the bit, people, where we're going to talk about some things that's been on our mind, and we've been chatting today. And let's start it off. I think you two at the bottom had something you wanted to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mine was more just some of the retiring players we've had hanging the boots up this week that have announced their retirements, and then just sort of giving our thoughts on who we think's next out the door. Is obviously the big argument every year, or the discussion every year about who's retiring, who's going on another year, maybe another year too long. So obviously we got Luke Shuey, Shannon Hearn, Aaron Francis,
Andrew Phillips from Essendon.
Yep. Sorry, it's Phillips, not Francis. Phillips, not Francis.
Yeah. They look the same. I was
going to say
both redheads.
Yeah, exactly right. So I guess this, who on our list do we think is next out the door?
Well, what do you reckon, Quinn? Do you reckon Rewalt? I heard on 3AW today, or saying that he doesn't know whether to retire or not to retire. So he's a 50-50 land. So what are your thoughts about him retiring this year? Do you think it's the best that he goes and gives an opportunity for some young players to come through, or sign contracts to other players a little bit more to keep them in the side? Or how your thoughts?
Tell the old man to go, mate. It's done. He's done, mate. Tell him to go. Come on, let's be serious here.
It is a tough. I was listening to the replay of 360 from last night just before we came on air tonight. With Jack, I think with Trent Cotchin, he should be hanging him up. I think it's definitely time for him. With Jack, it's an interesting one because he's not necessarily holding anybody out of the side at this point. And with Tom Lynch coming back next year, playing alongside him, it's probably a different look, Jack. I honestly think it just depends how his body feels. If he's not up to it, then don't play. Like, we don't want you out there if your body's not holding up. But if he thinks he's going to be all right and he's got Tom Lynch by his side, I don't really think he's holding anybody out of the team. So I could have him one more year, but I think Cotchin's definitely going to hang him up this season.
Yeah.
There's too many young guys that we've got coming through.
Manning should retire from Collingwood. Well, he's already not a member, so you can't retire if you're actually not part of the club.
Well,
so back to that, I believe, sorry, Quinn, you say he's not holding up somebody, but how do you know that till he leaves? Like, if he's there, it's hard to put in someone else. You know what I mean? So do you change the look of that forward line? Do we get someone else in there? Man, how many times do players come in and then all of a sudden you go, wow, where's he been? You know what I mean? So the way I look at retirement is this. Is he going to be part, let's be honest, is he going to be part of your next premiership?
No.
So, to me, I'll be looking towards that next premiership.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I see what you're saying as well. I think I'm with Cotchin, I'm certain I think he's definitely going to hang up because there's a lot of midfielders who've got killing it in the VFL that need to come through, and he's probably in their way a little bit. With Jack, I can see both sides. Like, yeah, he did. He kicked 3 goals in a weekend. For a guy that's being towered up by the best couple of defenders every week at his age, he's done all right this season, but yeah, it's just it's an interesting watch. But like Espo said, I don't think we can find 30 goals from any other player on the list at this stage. I mean, you're right, Rocco. Someone could come out of nowhere. You just don't know. But from what I'm watching when I see the VFL, and unless we recruit someone pretty big like a Josh Gibcus who didn't play all season, might come and play forward next year instead of backline, he could kick you 20 or 30. But I think, Jack, you're going to get that from him, especially with Lynch by his side. But I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I'm too sentimental.
definitely easier to retire when you've won 3 premierships. That's exactly right. All I'm saying is, man, you don't want to get to halfway through next year and go, mate, I'm ready to retire now, and then you're in the middle of the year, you know what I mean? But anyway, listen, all teams have those decisions to make at the end of the year, and you've got to be, sometimes got to take away the heart and the love, and you've got to think what's the most beneficial for your club, mate.
I partly agree with you there, Rocco. However, I wouldn't be surprised if I see Rewalt up where the sun is shining pretty bright, up at Gold Coast with their ex-coach. And you might be laughing, Quinn. You might be laughing, but I can tell you right now, if Rewalt's probably got another year behind him, I reckon he'd be getting more, maybe not more play, but I reckon he'll play more vital role.
Yeah,
going
coach,
up there with
forward
Hardwick.
coach.
Yeah. So
good point, Manny. Good point.
He could do that, but they've got a Levi Casbolt at the Gold Coast who's already another old guy. I don't know if they want, and I don't know, he might retire at the end of the season too, Casbolt. I don't think they want 2 forwards past the age of 33.
I reckon that's just a bullshit call, man. Seriously. I mean, the Gold Coast already look half decent. What are they going to do? They're going to get it, like you said, another 50-year-old down there to what? That would be let me finish. That would be irresponsible by Gold Coast.
Why?
Because you don't need, as you said, you got Levi Casbolt there who's 105 years old, right? Now you're going to get another bloke in there to do what?
Well, first and foremost,
you're on the verge of winning a premiership and they need somebody. I'm glad you're not the Carlton bloody recruiter.
Hey, listen, first and foremost, I'm glad. Well, you're probably right there because you guys haven't played finals for the last 10 years. So we won't go down that pathway. But my point is that if you get someone experienced like Jack Rewalt, who's going to go up there and is going to get the full support from Hardwick, I wouldn't be surprised. If he's got an opportunity to play another 12 months of footy, I reckon he'd be going up there. That's my opinion. Don't quote me on it, but that's something I'd be really, really considering.
Fucking irresponsible by Gold Coast. Are you joking? For what?
Irresponsible in what way? At the end of the day,
why would you bring in a 36, 30? How old is he, Quinn?
He's 34.
How would you bring in a 34-year-old to do what? To do
you know
what?
If he scores,
it's not something they're really lacking in. Nah.
If he scores 40 goals as a minimum, that wouldn't be good enough.
This is another thing. You said, like, I heard that comment there, you're not going to find another guy to kick 30 goals. What's he kicked this year?
I didn't say you're going to find another guy. I said
you'd be on about 30 at the moment.
Oh, right. And where are you?
Yeah, well, I know, we're shit.
And this is the whole point, man. You're all being delusional here. Oh, we'll get him to kick. Mate, isn't the whole thing about trying to move forward? Like, anyway, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Maybe bring him to Gold Coast with Hardwick as like an assistant or a forwards coach.
Look, if you're going to do something with him later, maybe, you know what I mean? But to actually, like, you think, then you're going to go. Of course, if they give him a fucking contract for $1 million, he'll probably go, you know what I mean? Or, you know, like 400 grand, whatever it is. He'll go, but that's not the question here.
But Rocco, you don't understand. It'll be good for the game up there. It'll be good for footy up there. That's what it is. It'll be good for footy up there because Jack is a superstar. He's well respected.
They fucking brought Ablett out there, and they had less people go to the game. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, you try to compare pears with oranges.
Is the epitome of a Collingwood. Go to Pines! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
We should bring him down to Maui. Maybe they can get a few people there. All right, next on the agenda.
Mark, that's you, mate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, mate. When are we going to get rid of the fucking centre bounce, mate? Look, I went to a game on Saturday, watched the Bombers. The siren goes, The umpire's holding the ball up. It takes him 6 seconds to bounce the ball. He had to think about it. So you sit there going, bounces the ball. The ball goes to one side, rebounces the ball again. The atmosphere's gone. It's just, I just looked at it and gone, what the hell am I doing here watching this game for? You know?
I agree.
Should, I don't know if the viewers are thinking out there, but we need to abolish, if the umpires are not professional enough and not trained enough to bounce the ball straight, then don't umpire. Otherwise, let it go. If it's going to go to one side or go to the other side, let the game go. Play on. But it's mate, like I was saying, if it's on the grand final, how sad would that be? You're there, you're all pumped up, ready for the bounce, and the umpire sits there for 5 seconds looking at the ball going, I've got to bounce this ball correctly. Then he bounces it, and it goes to fucking one side.
Ah, shit. I've always said, I don't know, maybe someone can correct me here. We're the only sport in the world where the umpire needs a skill.
Yes.
Why do you need a skill for? Like, it's to umpire the game. Why do we need the skill? Like, they spend time practicing the bounce. How about you spend time fucking trying to get the decision right, you know?
That's another concept of it, yeah.
And the thing is, man, like what you said, and it happened to our game. I think it happened to our game. I don't know. It happened to you.
It did. Carlton Security.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, and then we fucking had to start again. Like, just throw it up now. It's over, mate. Like, what
it's done. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily the umps don't know. Like, I think it's just the fact that the shape of our ball, it doesn't. You're never going to get someone that will perfectly bounce a football straight up in the way that they hold it as well. It's never going to happen perfectly every time. As you guys all know, I'm very sentimental and too much of a traditionalist. I like the bounce, but I do agree it does ruin moments. It does flatten the game out, especially when the umps make the wrong call and it will go to one side. And sometimes they don't take it back and they just let it play on. And then one team has got the fair advantage. So as much as I am a traditionalist and I don't want to see the bounce gone, we got rid of the bounce around the ground. I don't know how many years ago that was, but they used to bounce the ball up all over the ground, and I got rid of that. So, look, I really don't think it'll change the game too much. It's for example, I was big on when it's a kick out from full back, and the players if they wanted to play on, they used to have to kick it to themselves and then take off. Yes. I was spewing when they got rid of that because I loved it because it was so unique. Yeah. I honestly haven't thought twice about it since I got rid of it. And it'll be the same with this. People will complain, and as soon as it's gone, half a season in, you won't even notice it's gone. It'll just the ball ups will be a lot smoother, and I think the game will be better for it.
No, you won't even notice that it's gone. It's a load of bullshit. Like you said, there was a bounce there with the Carlton game. I swear to God, the ball almost ended in the 50. That's how bad the bounce was, right? And he called play on. Yeah. Right? And I think we actually got the ball. So I'm not complaining. All I'm saying is that's ridiculous. Like, once it's out of the circle, isn't it supposed to be rebounced or re-thrown up? And they get it wrong maybe 30, 40% of the time, or maybe too much. Maybe at 25 to 30% of the time they get it wrong. Fucking just scrap it, man. Just throw it up and that's it, mate.
I'd be really interested to find out how many injuries the umpires sustain throughout the year when they've got to go through that. Because if you look at that whole motion, I mean, it's not something that you think, it's just easy to bounce. Because it's not a round ball. It's not a basketball or a soccer ball. It's the way the ball's shaped and the way they hold that ball and the way they've got to sit there and bounce. I reckon even they would think to themselves, you know what? Let's just get rid of the bounce. Let's just throw it up. Because I even look at when they throw the ball in from the outside
boundary line,
throwing it in. And I tell you what, I've sat there and I've watched it. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. So
I'm telling you, it's a skill that they don't need to have.
Umpires.
This is another point just quickly, and this is Goka, and remember, he is the owner of Snits. So go down and see Snits for your Snuggets. Go down. Thanks, Goka. And he's right. that shouldn't even be a possession. That fucking cheap kick, mate, that you kick out from fullback, that should not be a possession, man, because someone can get 20 possession and they've kicked it out 18 times. That's ridiculous.
Where do you think Nick Dacos gets all his touches from? But
100%,
I will say, Manny, I agree. I agree with what. Yeah, I'll agree with what you're saying, Manny, though, with the bounce and the umpires getting it. The umpires came out a couple of years ago, I think it was, and were complaining about the back injuries they were sustaining from the constant motion of bending over and flinging the ball. I thought at the time they're just complaining a bit, but, you know, I'm doing it a few times before footy training and just practicing it like that. It actually does wear you down a little bit. So
I've tried to bounce that ball, man. It's tough, man. Like, you really need to hone in that skill. It's something they don't need, mate. It's something they don't need. Get rid of it. Man, they get rid of some of the dumbest things and they're still trying to and I'm with you, Quinn. I love the tradition of the game, mate. I love it. But sometimes you got to let go, mate. It's like that lover. Sometimes you just got to let her go, mate. Like, she's not coming back, mate. So move on. Move on.
Throw it up all the time, regardless.
You're starting to show your age, Rocco.
2 fire drills in 2 weeks at the Collingwood games. Something's got to be, that's true. Something's got to be done about these fake fire drills.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Well, Collingwood left at 3/4 time 2 games in a row, so there must have been a fire drill or something.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it.
Well, you wouldn't know. You did know last week when you left early, but this week you wouldn't know because you weren't there.
No, I didn't. Look, we'll talk about that a little bit later, Rocco. Well,
I'm just replying to messages.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I've seen many Carlton supporters do that fire drill thing. So
not 2 weeks ago.
Hey, no grey hair on this bloke, mate. No, I've got the Grecian 2000. They get any grey hairs, mate. No grey hairs here.
Yeah, all right, John Travolta. No worries.
All right, so I've got one more thing on the agenda if we want to continue, or we got anything else?
Well, go on, Rocco.
Go on, Rock.
All right, let's talk about this. Everyone's been talking about it, so we might as well talk about it. And here it is. Nick Dacos expected to miss 6 weeks with a hairline fracture to his knee. Listen, I don't wish injuries upon anyone, but has this cost Collingwood the grand final and the Brownlow?
Maybe the Brownlow. I think. I mean, personally, I'm a big fan of Bontempelli winning it. I want Bont to win it, if anyone.
Yeah, he's had a terrific 5 or 6 weeks.
Oh, he's been outstanding. So I might have cost him the Brownlow. Everyone's talking about Collingwood falling off a cliff, and I wish I could agree with that sentiment. But I honestly think that Collingwood they've had a couple of stinkers, but I think they're going to be just fine. Unfortunately,
Anthony Caesar, and I know who you are. This is your problem. That comment. That's why I use a shit out. Listen,
I actually think Nathan Murphy's a bigger loss.
I disagree with you, Quinn. Because if you look at the key indicators in the last 6 or 7 weeks, right, Collingwood has gone from about first or second in all of those indicators to...
That means nothing, Rocco. You said this last week. You keep repeating yourself.
It means nothing?
That means nothing. The facts...
Anyway, let me talk.
We're talking about a young player who has... Don't worry about the stats right now. Let's talk about...
No, but the question was, Manny, you dickhead. The question was...
Let's talk about every single Nick Dacos that gets on that field. All right, you don't want injuries on any of those players.
Listen, let me talk.
Right.
The question was,
Yeah.
Will it fucking affect the grand final? And I told you, your key indicators have dropped. You can nod your head as much as you want.
That means nothing.
The key indicators have dropped from top one and two to the bottom half.
You're a Carlton supporter.
Shut up, Manny. We've discussed this not to talk over people. We've discussed it. You dumbass. You dumbass.
Indicators.
Let me finish my fucking statement.
Go.
You right there? You right.
You shove them up your ass, those indicators.
Yeah, and this is why I use a shit. Because those indicators mean something. Your ground ball get, You have been shit out, and you have been 15 to 16 with Dacos in the middle. Now he's gone. He's been your main driver, and now he's gone. And you sit there and go, that's not going to make a difference. This is your fucking issue with your side and your supporters.
You got 40 players.
Because your whole structure of the game is, we'll just play well. Well, it doesn't work like that, mate.
Well, you know what? Right now, you're only going off. Exactly. I'm not in no denial, but I can tell you right now, you're going off what the markers are showing. Markers mean nothing. If we go by the markers, Rocco, you guys should have finished last 6 weeks ago.
Why? Why? Because, I'll show you the markers in the last 7 weeks. We're nearly number one in everything. So let's not talk about markers. Right now, in the last 7 weeks, we're nearly number one in everything, and that shows our rise. That shows our rise.
And good luck to you. However,
because if you've got those key, shut up. If you've got those key indicators, that's what coaches do. They look at key indicators. If you're not tackling, if you're not winning ground ball gets, if you're not keeping it inside the 50, how the fuck are you going to win games?
Okay. Now,
how the fuck are you going to win games? Shut up. But seriously, you make everyone dumber. Hey Uga, we love you, Uga, man. You're a Carlton supporter, but love what Nick Dacos achieved. And thanks for the $15. Uga always donates to the channel. So thanks, mate. We love you.
Hey, Rocco, all I'm saying, if you let me speak, because you like to yell because you got one of those super duper microphones. All I'm saying is right now, hang on.
At least
right now.
Sense. No, I'm not going to let you talk.
Right
if you
now,
tell me,
we're talking about
saying, sorry,
Mark.
Sorry, I'm not going to let you talk.
We're talking about
I'm not going to let you talk. I'll take you off in a
bullshit.
I'm not going to let you talk. You're telling me that key indicators mean
Let's talk about Nick Dacos.
You are actually making this show.
Are we talking about Nick Dacos?
I'm scared that people are going to tune out because you're an absolute imbecile. If you're telling me that your coach isn't looking at key indicators when he fucking mentioned it in his press conference, you absolute dunce.
What I'm saying is right now, we're talking about Nick Dacos, yeah?
Yes. And the question was, will it affect the fucking your grand final hopes?
I don't think it will.
Why?
I don't think it will.
Why? You can't.
You've lost some other players as well. Still side bottom.
Well, you know what though?
Murphy.
You know what, Mark? You've got a number of players. You got a number of players who have really performed. Who've really been training really well. Well, you got Jack Ginnivan. There's one player who's
Ginnivan isn't a fucking midfielder. What's he got to do? He's your forward, and he can't get into the side. So who are you going to drop? Who are you going to drop for Ginnivan?
Therefore, it tells you that we've got a huge spread of players, so we don't have to worry about it.
Who?
The team doesn't base itself on one player.
Name a player that's coming in. You don't even know who's going to come in for side bottom this week.
Hey, Rocco,
shut up.
Why don't you take your own advice? First and foremost, Collingwood has got enough players that are screaming to get in.
Who?
So, at the end of the day, you can sit here and say whatever you like.
No, you're making a statement without backing it up. Who?
I told you who.
Ginnivan. Is that your fucking grand final fucking winner? Who?
Johnson. Here's another one that's been screaming to come in.
Is Johnson going to go into the middle, is he?
Yeah, with McStay.
McStay, man.
They're going to have to start. Listen,
Manny,
they have to improvise.
Listen
you have to improvise. You've got to remember something. You've got to make sure that you work with what you have. That's simple. As simple as that.
And who are you going to bring in?
Right now, you're asking the question: is Nick Dacos a one-man show? He's not a one-man show.
Fucking open the one-man show, because when you held Dacos in the last 2 weeks, you cannot win a game.
Yeah. Well, hey Manny, do you know there's? Hey Manny, do you know there's an actual word in a dictionary? It's called collywobbles. There's an actual word in the dictionary saying Collie wobbles.
Hey, listen, I've got to know.
So
I'd be more worried if I could just say this. I'd be more worried if we were just outside the 8, or if we were, say, sitting with a game inside the 8. If we were, say, 6th, 7th, 8th, I'd worry more under the current conditions. But the fact that we've got that buffer,
I'll be worrying now because you're sitting pretty on top. You've lost a couple of games. You're losing some players now.
Oh my God!
And a lot of teams. What Rock was saying is that a lot of teams are working you guys out. All you need to do with Collingwood is go hard at the player, because Collingwood play a lot of bruise-free football.
Bruise-free, they do. Hey, listen. This is the most accurate statement. Collingwood fans, Dacos is the best player in the comp. Also, Collingwood fans, we won't miss Dacos. Come on, man. You can't have it both ways.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Wouldn't surprise me if Collingwood go out in straight sets, mate, if they don't get some of these players back.
You might think that, and I don't know what you two think, you might think that key indicators mean nothing, but it's shown. Your key indicators are down, and if you don't think your coaching department is fucking under pressure at the moment because you can't get your players to do the most basic of skills, you're delusional, and I'm loving it. I'm loving your excuses. You're saying that you've got players coming in. Who are they? Who? You can't even name them, Manny. Look, I'm going to teach you something, Manny. If you're going to talk about something, at least know what you're saying. At least know what you're saying.
You don't allow anybody to talk. You yell over them.
I've been asking you for 5 minutes who
you're yelling over them. All right. All I'm saying is you got. Well, you shut the fuck up. You got 40. When you got 40,
you're not going to answer the question. Who?
When you got 40 players, 40, right?
Who?
You got 40 players.
Who?
You got to find the right one to come in.
Like an owl. Who?
Well, that's up to McRae to make a decision.
You're a dud. I'm telling you, man. You are useless, man. I'm going to give you the typical Collingwood.
You're trying to
still on top, so it doesn't matter. We're still on top, mate. We're still on top.
Absolutely.
We're still on top, aren't we? Pies are on top. I've got to let you still on top.
That's how you look like. That's how you look like.
No.
We're still on top.
Not at all. What I'm saying is that by having those 2 games on top as a buffer, it gives us an opportunity. And yes, the coaching team will look at where we're going wrong and have a look at try and fix it. As simple as that. Now, if we're losing straight sets, we lose straight sets. It's the way it goes. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I wouldn't be too happy if you lost in straight sets, Annie.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Mark? Let me ask you a question, Mark. 1990. Hang on. 1990.
I hope.
Hey, relax.
1990. I hope the Collingwood coaching staff think exactly like
Collingwood versus Essendon.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that game, there was no way Collingwood was going in as a favourite.
Yes, they were.
Right? No, they weren't.
Yeah.
It was
injuries.
It was injuries.
What happened? What happened? What happened?
Listen.
What happened? What happened before that?
I'll tell you. The injuries that Essendon sustained is what got Collingwood. They got Collingwood the premiership.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. No, am I right, Mark?
They did.
No.
Stick
It was
the
3 weeks. It was the 3-week rest that Essendon had between preliminary and grand final. That's what it was.
Too much of a rest. Too much of a rest.
It was 3 weeks of resting. That's what it was. You don't even know. Who did you play to get into the grand final that year, Manny?
We beat the West Coast Eagles.
And why did you beat them?
Because they fucked up. They missed an easy chance, and we beat them. That's why.
No, they didn't. It's because it was a draw, and you had to replay them again, just like your last grand final. Anyway, listen. I just want to say to the people out there, please don't become stupider after you've been listening to this, right? Like, because seriously, like,
it is sad. It is sad to see a good young player like Nick Dacos get injured. So
I agree.
Huge, mate.
You know, it's good to see those players. You know. But
and you know what? And
unfortunately, who cares? Who cares? Who gives a shit?
That's one of the biggest problems with this sport that we play. That football is a tough game.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see a young player he's only a 40 games player, right?
Mm.
To show so much talent, skill, so much potential, and to get that injury, it is sad. But
yeah, especially this time of the year. So Collingwood it'll hurt Collingwood, mate. Not for anything, but it will hurt them.
So you can't base your whole team. You've got to change the mentality. You've got to move away now from that and say, you know what?
You aren't good enough.
We're going to support you.
You don't bat deep enough.
Yeah, like what Rock was saying, that the statistics don't show enough that missing those players. Who else is going to step in?
We'll be here in 3 weeks' time, and we'll be having this conversation, and then we'll be able to talk. Right now, I'm not going to stipulate.
Yeah,
I'm not
fair enough, buddy.
I want to.
You don't even know who to bring in. You don't even know who's training Manny.
I'm not going to speculate.
Because you don't know.
Speculate at all.
Because you don't know. If you tell me straight away a player out who's going to replace them, I'll give you 3 players ready to go.
Yeah, good on you. What are you going to say, Quinn?
I'm going to say, I want to ask you, Manny, and all the other Collingwood supporters in the chat, because I don't know how long he's out for, but I honestly reckon Nathan Murphy is arguably a bigger out than Nick Dacos is, purely for the fact that, as we saw against Carlton, Darcy Moore isn't that great as a one-on-one defender, but as soon as he can swoop across and intercept, which is what Murphy allows him to do, I reckon he might battle a bit. And you've got Geelong this week with Hawkins and Cameron down there. Then you've got Brisbane with Danaher and Hipwood the week after.
Quinny, I think Murphy's playing this week.
That's my theory, Rock. That's what I was saying about these players that sit out in the ground.
He trained strongly today.
Correct.
Oh, I'm logging off then. I've given up. I'm done with footy.
Yeah, that's right, mate. So you just don't know these days with these players. They go on the ground and
and the other thing is, but the one they're going to miss side bottoms out.
Side bottom
yes,
on me,
as well.
definitely. Side bottom on me.
They seriously have not got a replacement for side bottom. Their wings are now not covered. Dacos not through. Their forwards, I mean, anyway, we'll talk about their shit team in a sec. All right, you know what? Let's get into this.
No, we don't have to.
No, we do have to. We do have to. Let's go.
All right, we got Collingwood on top. As I mentioned before, with these couple of games as a buffer. But the real big surprise is the Melbourne Footy Club, who are playing Carlton this week. And you know what? If Carlton beats Melbourne, I can tell you right now, Carlton's going to be looking hot. They're going to be looking super hot. I ain't afraid to say that, unlike you, who's in denial all the time, Rocco. Carlton's sitting there 5th, and you got the Tigers and the Bombers outside the 8, who are, the Bombers potentially still got the chance. But Tigers, or maybe the Tigers, I don't know. It's too tough to call at the moment.
Yeah.
Too tough to call.
Wow.
Yeah, mathematically, yes.
Still on top, so it doesn't matter. We're still on top, mate. We're still on top.
Absolutely.
We're still on top, aren't we? Pies are on top. I've got to let you still on top.
The best bit about that video is he's trying to get like people to help him, and now everyone just walking past are embarrassed, man. So anyway, all right, let's go into the first game.
Ah, fuck.
Do you want to do it or what?
No, we'll do it. We'll do it.
You've got to do it, mate.
You've got to do it.
126 to 10, 11, 71, and the bloke on screen there could be the Brownlow favourite, I reckon.
Yeah.
He has to be. He has to be. I hope he wins it. I love Bontempelli. Good Italian boy too.
He's sitting at $2.20 at the moment. So he's one of the favourites. Yeah,
no, absolutely. He's been outstanding. And he was, again, he tore Richmond a new arsehole last Friday night. It was tough to watch. That first quarter.
Well, you really lost it. You lost it. I mean, I was going to say you really lost it in the first quarter. It was done, wasn't it?
We weren't that bad after quarter time. We were okay. We
weren't
after
great. Quarter time, that's right.
But we were okay after quarter time. It was that first quarter where it was lost. And I've got a rule. I don't leave games early. I sit to the very end. I suffer. I celebrate whatever the result's going to be. But to know you're not going to win the game after quarter time and 3 whole quarters knowing you've lost was the most miserable I think I've ever been. And let me tell you, for those that don't know, I do work with the Bulldogs. And the next day, I had a junior clinic and had to front up to all the players that tore Richmond and New Arsehole the night before. It's been a miserable week for me.
Stick it up him. Stick it up him.
It just for a team that really needed to win to then rest Dustin Martin heading into the game. You know, the guy who's probably been our most informed player of the last few weeks, and just to not show up like that. It's it is disgraceful. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, Quinny, mate, you guys have already had your time, mate. I reckon Richmond are slowly going backwards. I can't see you guys going anywhere for the next probably 5 or 6 years, to be honest. Just start recruiting, getting some draft picks. You've had your time, mate, so it's your time to go.
Yeah,
I just think I don't know if it's going to be 5 or 6 years because things can turn it real quick, you know. But I just think it's one of those years, man.
It's one of those years. It's not our year. We've had a shit season. We've lost games we should have won all year round. We've done it. So I sort of not surprised by what's happening now at the pointy end of the season. But you look at Collingwood 2 years ago, and not to use them and pump their tires anymore, but they were 17th 2 years ago on the ladder. They were second last. And the year after, they made a prelim. So I'm not saying it's going to happen that quickly, but things can turn around. Things can turn around quick. And who knows? It could just take a couple of young guys to get an opportunity, and who knows? So, look, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
And you need a coach as well, don't you guys? Need a coach as well? Or
yeah, and I want to touch on that. I want to touch on the coach more than I want to touch on the game. For everybody saying this result is, throwing McWalter out of the race and he shouldn't be the coach, he came in halfway through the season. He's not going to implement his own game style midway through the year after the players did a full preseason under Dimmer in the first half of the season. You're not going to do that. So he's really just maybe implementing one or two little things, and the rest is just running with Dimmer's already current system. If you're going to pick this guy, don't judge him on what's happened this season. Judge him on, his part or everything else that he's done, the person it is, and then adjudicate him. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. But if you're going to judge him on losses like this, I think that's ridiculous because it's not his system. It's not his system. That's right. So I'm sick of people saying that Walter's done.
Yeah, it's also when you come in as a an intra what is it? Intra coach and that. Yeah, it's very hard. That half a year is very hard because you don't know if you've got the job. You're trying to put in some sort of system. They're still playing the old system. He'll be still having people above him telling him stuff. It's not like it's his team yet. All I say, and I've been saying this about Carlton, and I said it this week on our show, that things are looking good now. It doesn't mean you don't go through the right process at the end of the year. And with your coach now, just go through the right process. He might be the right person. Yeah. But that's it. But wait till the end of the year and then we have a look at stuff, No,
100%. I'm with you on that, Rock. You've got to do the right process no matter who it is. You could have the greatest coach of all. You could have Dimmer come back and say, I want to coach the club again. Put him through the process. Not that it's going to happen, but you know what I mean? I just think it doesn't matter who comes through. You put him through the process. And then just quickly on the interim coach thing as well, not for what you said, Rock, but a lot of people are saying, interim coaches don't last. They always get sacked. And normally an interim coach comes in when a team's in a disarray. They've sacked their coach because they're going poorly. Then a new guy comes into a team that's already a shambles. This wasn't the case with Richmond. We're not going great, but Richmond weren't a shambles that sacked their coach. Dimmer just had enough and took off. So this guy took over an team. So I think it's a different situation with this as well.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll see how things pan out at the end of the year. But look, I don't think you're going to make finals because it's just the run you've got. And
Tigers have been tamed.
It's time to look to the future, and hopefully the best thing you can do is start next year running. You know what I mean? And work. But anyway, we'll see how we go. All right. What do we got next here? Oh, this one. Essendon 10-13-73 to West Coast 11-6-72. I don't even know what to say about this, man. I'm going to leave it to you, man. How do you beat the worst team in the competition by a point?
Mate, I was at the game, and I can tell you right now, I've never been to a footy game where you've actually won the game, but it felt like you fucking lost the game.
Yeah, I've been to those games.
There was no fucking emotion. It was just like, all right, okay, see you, bye. There was just no. I've never been to a game, and I've been to a lot of games where it didn't feel like, yay. And I'll tell you what, I reckon if we lost, you could just feel the stadium, Marvel Stadium, it was going to erupt, mate. I reckon the supporters would have just gone fucking, mate. It would have been like they would have started a riot. So, mate, you know, what can you say? Lucky to get the 4 points.
I just see it in your response there, man. Like your response says everything, man. Like, what can you say, man? When I saw the result, because I didn't see the game, I just saw the result and watched a little bit of the highlights. But yeah, you got away with one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first quarter, we kicked one. Yeah, we kicked 1-7, 1-7 in the first quarter, so that could have been 7 goals won, and then we're up by 5 goals. The umpiring, forget it. But you can't make excuses for that, really. But look, I mean, West Coast, they come off a good win the week before against North, but mate, I'll tell you what, if they had beat this last week, I would have just given up, mate. I wouldn't have been on the show tonight, to be honest with you. But yeah, we need to improve. Obviously, we've got some young players that I think they're getting a little bit tired at the moment. We're missing some key players. Obviously, you know, Draper and Stringer and Shield and Westerfield. Westerfield's coming back this week against North.
Westerfield. You know, I tell you the one thing I've noticed is that every time Rocco curses a player, it's like he puts the old on him.
It's not the malocchio, mate. The thing is that I study the game, mate, and I can just see trends, mate. And you could say whatever you want about me, but I see trends, mate. And I see what Westerfield's like. I see what Stringer's like. You know what I mean? I know the kind of plays. I've watched them long enough, and you can say whatever you want.
You cursed poor Nick Davis.
Yeah.
What?
But Stringer's, he's one of those players that, you know, he'll dominate a final. You know, he'll dominate a final. If Essendon make the finals and Stringer is fit, mate, be careful if they're playing against Carlton or Collingwood. You know, so he's one of those players that perform in the big stage, as they say. You know, so.
All I'm saying about Stringer, yes, he can be that one person who kicks like a few goals out of his ass, right? And I know he's that sort of player. Is he a player you rely on for the year? No. That's the problem with Stringer. You know what I mean? Does he come in and do something special? Yeah, he can be fucking dangerous. But the problem is he's not that player that you can rely on week.
He's not consistent,
mate. That's what you need to have a successful side. But you also need those players there every once in a while, yeah?
Correct.
All right, let's
correct.
move on.
That's the key.
Really use a shit.
All
All right, let's go. I've been dying for this one here. 16-9, 105 to 11-7, 73. Beaten to like the lonely Hawks.
Well, if Hawthorn, and you know what, and this is the way it works. Every team that's playing Collingwood wants to try and do their best to beat Collingwood, right? Now,
I think you think too much of yourself.
We're talking about the markers and all that bullshit that you go through before. All right, let's put that aside for a second. Did Hawthorn play a great game of football? They did. Did we lose it? Yeah, we did lose it. We lost it in the middle. We just fell apart. We really fell apart.
He's our favourite McCullough. Answer the question, mate. Manny said last week, if you lose to Hawthorn, you really be worried. You said that.
Yeah, that's right.
But at the start of the show, you're not worried. You're full of shit.
Listen. The reality is we've got 3 more games to go, right? So in these 3 games to go, potentially we need to put aside what has happened, okay? And every team has that opportunity but they go through that little bit of a slump, okay? Maybe Collingwood's slump right now isn't the best time, and especially with the injury of Nick Daicos. But we've got 3 more weeks to go,
Yeah, you got 3 big games to go to, mate.
Yeah, that's fine. So, but I'm talking about home and away games. We've got 3 more to go. This is giving us now an opportunity to reassess. McRae and his team ain't going to sit back and just smoke a cigar with the go, we'll be fine. No, it doesn't work that way. He's seriously looking at what the concerns are, and like any coach. Now, at the end of the day, right now, if you were to sit there and ask me the question, who looks like the team that would be the biggest threat for the flag? And I'd hate to admit this, and I said this to Rocco when I saw him the other day. I said to him, Carlton. And he said to me, we're going to get into the finals first.
Fucking Carlton.
Right now, Carlton is showing me that they are the team that has turned things around. The last
They're fucking Spuds, mate. Carlton Spuds. What do you mean Carlton? We're Carlton. Melbourne.
You can't
Brisbane.
say that with a straight face, you dad. All right, so I was talking before.
Hang on. Don't take away what I'm saying.
Sorry, because you're just trying to fucking soften the blow.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Did Hawthorn play great football? They played superb football. Did they beat us? They beat us. It's simple as that. You can't. There's nothing that I can say that would show potentially that we had a chance against Hawthorn.
And that was the upset of the year, to be honest with you, too, Manny. So, you lost the game against Hawthorn.
I'm telling you what, the upset would have been if you lost to West Coast. But
we didn't.
Yeah, I know you did it. All right, now what I was saying before, Manny, before you try to soften everything up, was your indicators in the last 10 weeks have shown you have dropped immensely, and your players aren't doing what they're told, right? And the problem is because of these indicators, you have been found out. Now let's have a look at what happened this week.
Players, when you say players are not doing what they've been told,
Hawthorn is to the left and user to the right? So Hawthorn. 410, almost had 100 more disposals. Inside 50s, 18 more. And the other one I want to talk about is your centre clearances, 18-3.
Yeah, that's where we lost the game.
Right, and that was because, let me finish.
Rocco, that's where we lost the game. It doesn't matter what you can say. You can sit there and talk to your dog's balls. The facts are that this is where we lost the game. You can't. That's
what happened was because they held Dacos, because you are a one-man side, again to 5 disposals.
You got nothing better to say.
You could not win any.
You've got nothing better to say.
You cannot win the ball. The problem is with Collingwood, they have gone away from what they do best because other teams have found them out. Great. You can say whatever you want. Other teams have found them out. You haven't got to be forward. Your back line is very sus when they play one-on-one. And as I said, instead of Darcy, who can't even fucking hold a one-on-one, it's Murphy who's your most important thing. Now, this week, you're playing a Geelong without Dacos, and I'm telling you won't win a centre clearance. The second one is you've lost Sidebottom, right, who is a key indicator. If you know anything about wingers, right, he's your most hardest working player because he has to run up and down the ground. He has to defend. He has to go, and he's your link-up player, right, with Sidebottom, who's one of the best going around, right? One of your best is gone, right? So who are you going to replace him with? Because I'm telling you, Geelong are going to eat you up. Who are you going to replace Sidebottom with?
Mick McGuan.
Yeah, Mickey. That's right. Mickey McGuan. He's got a brilliant goal against Carlton from the one end of the ground to the other.
I think McRae's a big fan of Leon Davis.
But that was a great.
I know you're trying to deflect the question, but who are you going to replace? An important player.
Rocco, listen. You're right. It is at the moment right now. If you're asking me the question, as a Collingwood supporter, am I?
The question I'm asking you is who are you going to replace? I'm not asking you any other question. That's what the Collingwood supporters want to know.
I don't know what decisions. I don't know what decisions the coaches
are going to. Give me 2 or 3 players who are.
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate.
Just give me 2 or 3 players.
All I'm
Give me
saying
2 or 3 players
right
who
now,
you
we're not
might come
playing.
in.
We're not playing the
Who?
football we want to be playing.
Who?
So, you know,
Who?
I don't want to speculate.
Who?
I'm not going
Who?
to throw any names at you.
Who? Because you don't know. You
I don't
don't
have to know, Rocco.
Your whole,
Rocco.
yes, you do. Yes,
I
you
don't
do.
have to know.
You have
I
to
don't
know.
have to know.
You have to know who's going to replace him. Like,
Well-
that's a serious fucking replacement.
Well, you know what? Tomorrow when
Okay,
I
all right. So who in the reserves is playing well on the wings that you can put in?
well, look, you've got Johnson that's playing really, really well.
Oh, is he a winger? Is he?
Well, he's not a winger. No, he's not a winger. But
Maybe
You can throw him there, maybe.
we're gonna have to move players around.
Stay.
We may have to move players around.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
mate,
what you said last time. Seriously, get some knowledge, mate. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about your fucking shit side. Seriously, you are an embarrassment. Your whole team's an embarrassment.
Still on top, so it doesn't matter. We're still on top, mate. We're still on top.
Absolutely.
We're still on top, aren't we? Pies are on top. I've got to let you still on top.
Anyway, listen, just to finish off, man, we did have someone, and they did send in this.
They drew against St Kilda in 2010. They blew a 4-goal half-time lead because they choked again. And only 12 months later, they choked against Geelong. And all those one-eyed pie supporters couldn't sing their song. I love it when Collingwood choke. It's football's greatest joke. They've lost more grand finals than any other team. I love it when Collingwood choke and they can't get the ball to cloak. They've got Buckley's chance of winning. Here the Collie Wobbles come.
Collie Wobbles, mate. The Collie Wobbles.
Collie Wobbles, Carl. Let's go. Don't worry, I've got part 2 and 3, mate. I've got part 2 and 3 coming. On the top, and then we flop.
Well, I tell you what, I heard the Richmond one the other day, and it's actually not a bad song either.
Anyway, we've got to continue on because, oh my God, it's already 8 o'clock. All right, let's go. We've got to quickly move on. Everyone, and you know why we lost some viewers? Everyone, we got Andrew McKay as the guest interview this week, and it's a 2-parter, and it was a fascinating. This bloke was a true champion. All right, we can go into this one here if you want. No, we can't because that's shit. We don't give a fuck about you guys. And here we go, 8-6-50 for St Kilda, 10-13-73. Good win. Can't say much more. Was a gutsy win, halftime down, showed some resilience, man, did some moves. Indicators went up. We were losing in a lot of those indicators. They came back and they went hard. And I'll give you an example about indicators again, because Manny, I'm here to educate you, not just
well,
like
let's talk about indicators.
I'll give you some key indicators. So in the second half of the year, we went from points for, we went from 16th to first, points against we were 5th to first, clearance differences, which is one of your big ones, went from 12th to first, goals inside 50, 18th to first, and goal accuracy 8th to third. Now, you might sit there and go, oh,
well, you guys are second in the amount of points you have scored.
What's that?
You guys are second in the number of behinds.
Okay,
Do I talk about that?
In the number of behinds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what that means.
You score a goal, and if you don't score a goal, you score a point. That's called a fucking behind. Yeah. Okay. You guys have scored. You guys rank second, and the amount of behinds you have scored this year.
That even says worse. That even says like we should be winning by more.
Shows that you guys can't kick fucking straight.
Yes.
Can I show you something again?
And if you want to talk about facts, let's talk about facts.
Can I show you something again?
Can I show you something again? Football in 10 years.
Can I show you something again? In goal accuracy, we're third.
Now you're third.
Yes, in the second half of the year. That's what I'm saying. That's the indicators. As I said, you're the fucking March premiers, you fucking duds. Anyway, I'm talking about Carlton.
Rocco,
I can't
it'd be
believe
nice to
that.
play
Wait, I can't believe
finals football.
that's the
You haven't played
stat
finals football
that
in
you
10 years.
worked
You're
on.
done.
Is
You're
that
done.
the stat you worked on?
You haven't played
Every time
finals
you kick a
football in
goal,
10
you're
years.
behind. Shut up. Use our
Just
shit, mate.
1995 till now. It was the last time you won a grand final.
So you've won 2 grand finals in 66 years, mate. 66 years.
Hey, the last one we won was in
66
2000.
years. The only team that's worse
2010.
than you is fucking St Kilda. Shut
Not bad.
up. Anyway,
Not bad.
I was very proud of that thing because we came from behind. St Kilda fucking challenged us hard. They had 53 tackles at halftime. So they come in hard. Unlike Collingwood, who
You guys were lucky too. Some of that fucking umpiring was disgusting. Fucking hell. If you talk about being one-sided, and you are a one-sided Carlton supporter, some of those decisions that were not given to St Kilda would have changed the whole momentum of the game.
Which one?
Yeah. Which one? In that first quarter when you guys were losing by, 5 goals, that was, you guys lose the ball,
We
then all of a sudden
were
you get tackled.
we were never behind. We were never behind by 5 goals.
Yeah.
We were never behind by 5 goals in the first quarter.
Mate,
we were
the
never
umpiring
behind.
was pathetic.
So which one was
Absolute
it?
pathetic.
Which one?
Yeah, it was in
So
there.
you think that one decision makes the whole game?
When you guys are down by 5 goals, fuck over does.
So which one was it?
Oh, come on, Rocco. You know which one it was. It was pathetic.
I don't know which one. I don't know what
You
you're
guys-
talking
you
about.
guys get
You're the
tackled.
one. You're the
You get
one
tackled
making the
tonight.
statement.
And they called it.
You're
They
the
called
one
it.
making a statement.
They called it that he hit the ball. That he punched the ball.
Who?
Dan Butler.
Who?
Which one was it?
He's talking about the Dan Butler tackle.
That's it. Thank you.
So when was that?
That was it was towards the end of the first quarter. Dan Butler tackle.
Actually, it was towards the end of the second quarter, and we were only 22, and they were only 22 points up. And from that point onwards, right, even if they kicked that goal, we kicked 7 goals to 1. So
Yeah,
jam
it
up your
changes the
ass.
momentum. It changes the momentum. Your
Just
banana.
like, what
Hey,
a
where's your
dud you
banana?
are, Manny. Yeah.
Wait, where's your banana?
I'll just let you go. You're just digging your own grave here. Less than the goal at quarter time, mate. You got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know.
I would listen to Jack. You can't fix stupid, mate. You can't fix stupid. Sorry.
Yeah. And Quinn's right.
You're referring to the Ollie Hollands, and it's not Ollie Hollandy. It's Ollie Hollands. Yeah, you're referring to that one there. But if you want, we could talk about the ones that we got missed. Or you don't want to talk about them ones? You don't want to talk about them ones?
Anyway,
Manny,
congratulations,
a bit of a
Lock,
hypocrite
mate.
calling someone a banana.
Congratulations on Carlton, the Carlton Spuds. You guys are pretty much on the roll at the moment. So I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see you Spuds win the next 3 games. Because first set again, if you make the finals, you're out, mate. So keep Carlton winning, keep them going.
Mate,
they're in form.
All
The Spuds are all right. The Spuds are doing well, and we'll wait and see.
Unlike you, free Spuds, if we just keep doing what we're doing, man, I've got no fear against anyone. We did it against Collingwood. We absolutely smashed them in all.
Hey, Rocco.
And you're on the roll, mate, and that's good. It's good to see Carlton on the roll. But at the end of the day,
it's about fucking time.
They'll lose the game that really matters in the finals.
It's about fucking time.
This is my game, you stupid. We're winning all our indicators. We're winning all our I've told you, Manny, you got to stop doing that. We're winning all our indicators. And the other thing is that you keep forgetting, we're winning it with 6 of our best players.
They're on a roll, Carlton. The Spuds are on a roll. The Spuds are on a roll.
Is that correct, Mark?
Yeah, the Spuds are on a roll. They're good. They're all right, the Carlton Spuds.
Listen,
Is that correct?
unlike you, Rocco,
6 of our top 22.
I ain't afraid to say to you
of our top
that you guys at the moment,
we are still beating. We made the Collywobbles look like rubbish, and since then, they can't even be fucking awful. You are. It's football greatest joke. Mate, we came after you and we'll come after the rest of you, mate. At the moment, we are sitting pretty. All right, let's keep on going. Hey, Manny, please, next week, do some fucking research. What number was your favorite player? Seriously, you are an embarrassment to this show. I'm seriously thinking about getting like a 3-year-old. At least they know. You know what? Next week, why don't you put your son on? At least he actually looks at the game.
Sav Rocker was one of my favorite players.
Sav Rocker, you said it was Rene King.
No, not Rene King. You said it. Who else did you say it was?
Tony Shaw.
Gavin
Tony
Brown.
Shaw. That's right.
Gavin Brown. Gavin Brown.
What number was Gavin Brown?
How
can you have a favorite player and not know the number?
Hey, number 26.
26, Gavin Brown.
You better Google that, Rocco.
No, I don't need to. I don't Google because I don't Google shit players. Anyway, let's go into this one here because we've got to get a move on. We've got to get a move on. We're losing. Everyone's gone over to the Andy McKay. Let's go.
Come on, let's lock it on. Let's go to
there. I just forgot to do this one, guys. The mannerisms. All right, let's continue on. I had to make them smaller because there's more. Let's go. Manny thought last week's footage was old footage. After being at the game and watching it, he thought that I showed old footage. He also didn't know Josh's Dacos's number. He didn't know Tony Shaw's number, and he didn't know his favorite player who he mentioned, what his nickname was, which was one of the most famous nicknames ever. Oh, my fucking Lord. I don't know what's going on anymore. All right, let's go into this one here. All right, so we did have some tips to do. So let's go into this.
Let's fly through them, boys, because we got the Andy McKay interview on. Everyone's going to go watch.
I was going to quiz Manny, and I just chucked in some quizzes there. I mean, I can go through heaps of things because I actually know more about Collingwood than what Manny does. But that would be an easy fuck. I reckon if you two quizzed me and Manny about Collingwood, I would win.
We'll do that another show.
All right, next week, guys, Quid and Mark get some questions together, and we're going to have a quiz between me and Manny about Collingwood.
All right, let's organise it.
Deep down, you're a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah. I actually was a Collingwood supporter, but just before I went to the toilet and I let that out.
Okay. Well done. Well done, Rocco.
I let that out.
Is the epitome of a Collingwood.
Go to Pines! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
That's a typical Hollywood supporter, mate. Go for it. Maui! I'm from Maui!
The best.
Losers. What a bunch.
Alrighty, let's dive. Well, speaking of, let's dive into the tips because they're the first cab off the rank. But just quickly, I want to thank Matula for her kind words. Quinn is my favorite non-Carlton host.
Yes.
Yeah. But all right, we'll get into it.
And we love Matula. And I just want to say hi to Matula because traveling on the train to the footy last week, guess who's in the carriage? Matula. So we traveled in together and went to the game together.
Nice.
She actually goes to the game, Manny. Let's go for it.
All righty. Well, Manny, your boys first came up the rank. Collingwood take on Geelong MCG Friday night. Massive game. Massive game. Who we got?
It is a big
I'm
game.
going to be quick and honest about that. Without Dacos, I can't see him winning another game. That's why I got hope for Mark making the finals, and I think Geelong will win this game.
Yeah. This week, the tips for me are going to be the teams that I want to win.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, because obviously, it's mathematically, we need teams to lose for us to win to get up there. So I want Collingwood to win, but Geelong will win. in a way. So I have to go Collingwood. It's not about the tip points this week. It's about who I want to win. So Collingwood for me. Manny, fucking
wise choice. Wise choice.
I think this game's more important for Geelong. I think because they need to solidify their spot in the 8. So I'm going to go the Cats. As much as I don't want them to win because it hurts us as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think the Cats. Seriously, I'm telling you, fuck it. You can't get a fucking hard ball, Manny. I don't know how you're going to beat them. Hey, listen, someone's got something for the thing to make it easier for Collingwood fans. All Collingwood players should wear the same number, just like they do in prison. All right, let's go. Next one.
All righty, Mark, your boys, North Melbourne, Marvel Stadium, take on the Bombers Saturday afternoon. Bombers for me, it's a pretty simple one, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think we'll play a lot better this week, mate. We can't keep on playing the way we're playing, but I'll be at this game as well this weekend on Saturday. So yeah, Essendon by 36 points.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, Bombers for me.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Swannies take on the Gold Coast Suns, SCG. This is a big game as well.
This is a big game.
Swans, I think, for me. SCG, I think they're a better team.
Yeah.
Gold Coast
again with the tips, I want Gold Coast to win, so I'm going for Gold Coast. But Sydney will win, if you get where I'm coming from. So Gold Coast for me.
I'm with Quinn. I'm going with Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney for me.
All righty, we move on. Brisbane at the Gabba take on the Adelaide Crows, and I think Brisbane just keeps solidifying their spot in the top 4 and get a good win over Adelaide here.
Yeah, Brisbane for me.
Yeah, I'm the same.
All righty, MCG, Rocco, your boys, the Blues, take on the D's, MCG. Both teams in pretty good form. Saturday night.
Game. And anyone that's on here, man, will be, I can't tell you where, but we'll be drinking before the game at the ground, and then we're going to go out afterwards because we've got some people from Dubai down here.
Nice.
One of them might be on the show this week, so everyone. For me, yeah, this is simple, man. The Blues will win this. What else can I say? What do you say, Quinn?
I'm tipping the Blues as well. They're in good form.
Melbourne for me.
Yeah, the run will slowly be cut short, so Melbourne for me.
Nice. Next
Alrighty.
one.
The Western Derby, however you want to say it, but West Coast take on Fremantle, Optus Oval, 8:10 on the Saturday. Fremantle win this one.
Yeah, Fremantle for me. West Coast had their chance last week. So Freo.
Yeah, Fremantle for me.
Alrighty. We move on to the Sunday afternoon. Hawthorn take on the Western Bulldogs down in Tasmania.
Yeah, again, one of those tips that I want Hawthorn to win, but knowing that Bulldogs will probably take the points, but I'm going to go Hawthorn.
Yeah, Hawthorn for me. Hawthorn for me.
I'm going to go Hawthorn as well. I think they've got a good record against the Dogs down there in Tassie, so it could be interesting. So I'm going to go the Hawks for an upset.
Nice.
There we go.
Hawks here. Freo. Yep.
All right.
Next.
We move on. St Kilda at Marvel Stadium versus the Tigers. Sunday afternoon.
Flip of the coin for me.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, you're going Tigers, Quinn.
Yeah.
So it's heads, St Kilda, which I don't want to win. I want Richmond to win, but obviously toss of the coin, say St Kilda.
Beautiful.
Yeah, St Kilda for me.
I'm actually going to go with you guys this week, Quinny.
Didn't think any of that.
I'm telling you, I thought St Kilda, if you keep at St Kilda again, and really in the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've only beaten North.
Yeah, that's right.
They are struggling, man, and I'm telling you, they in the middle. They're very suspect. They can't hold it. Their forwards, yeah, they got King up there, and they got Butler and all that. But I don't know. I'm going to go for you guys.
Yep, go to Tigers.
We beat them not long ago, so we'll have to wait and see. In the last game of the round, finally, we've gotten there. Port Adelaide take on the Giants at Adelaide Oval. Massive game. Giants need to win to stay in the 8. They keep thereabouts, and Port want to keep their top 2 spot back in check. Just because it's Adelaide Oval, I'm going to go Port Adelaide.
Yeah, Port Adelaide.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think Port's going to lose another. That's what would there be 5 in a row if they lose. So
they won't lose this
Port
week.
For me. Port for me.
So that's it. All right, let's have a look at this while we're here. Look at this. Rocco keeps his 2-point lead with Mark.
That's all right.
Both got 7, and the 2 other losers here got 6. So they're just and Manny, I did check last week's results, and no, I know you tried to scam a fucking extra vote there, but you didn't. You went for fucking the team. So I went over it again.
I merely asked the question. You reckon you did check? I'll take your word for it. I mean, you can't scum. I'll take your word for it. So
I'll check it.
Rock,
Man,
this week's tips are going to be very interesting, mate.
Unless you want to do something and actually participate in the show, excepting coming on for the last minute and expecting them to fucking doubt me.
No. Rocco,
well, then,
you know.
Then I would shut the fuck up because you're doubting my fucking work effort. You can get stuck.
Listen. You know, I love you. You are a Carlton supporter, and you do piss me off at times, and I probably feel like smacking you. But at the end of the day, I still love you, mate. I still love you.
I don't love you.
Down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are
might say that trying to soften things up, but I don't love you at all. I hope, seriously, I hope that this losing streak actually gives you fucking pain, mate. Like, that's how much I want you to fucking feel it. So I don't love you at all, so you can go and get stuffed. Anyway, this has been a great show. It's gone over. Everyone, please go over and watch the Andy McKay. It was actually a great, and he goes in depth because he was also one of the administrations at Carlton. Him coming over is actually a fascinating. Oh, come on. What's this one say? Come on, Rocco, no, fuck, he's Collingwood, mate. Seriously, I have no respect for Collingwood supporters, 0. And the other person I just want to quickly mention is No Regrets. He's disappeared. He didn't come on our show yesterday. He used to come on every week and fucking troll the thing. And then he came on here and every week, and now he's disappeared. And that just shows the quality of the guy. He's at least with Manny, I like for his knowledge and that. It's absolutely disgraceful and embarrassing that he's even, but at least he shows up every week, mate. At least he shows up. Actually, I think I did find a picture of No Regrets.
Is the epitome of a Collingwood.
Go to Pies! Come on!
Yeah. Come on.
I'm from Maui! I'm from Maui!
I think that's No Regrets.
I'm from Maui.
I hope everyone's enjoyed this, man. Seriously, it's been a big audience tonight. We appreciate everyone. Like, share, subscribe, do it all, man. Even if it's just a push of a like button, tell your friends, man. It does mean a lot to us. Now, is everyone say your goodbyes because I'm just
go to the Bombers.
Go.
I wish nothing but misery for all 3. Go the Tigers.
Go the Blues, and you know we're coming. You know we're fucking coming. So everyone, thank you for being here, and let's finish off with this.
They're the only club in history to lose 8 grand finals in a row. I guess that's what you get when your team is from the ghetto. From the ghetto. You see, I've come to the conclusion that they're simply not that good. And there's one more thing we have to say. There's only one eye in Collingwood. I love it when Collingwood choke. It's football's greatest joke. They've lost more grand finals than any other team. I love it when Collingwood choke and they can't get the ball to cloak. They've got Buckley's chance of winning. Here the collie wobbles come.